What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. Let me set the mood for you. It is a very dark and stormy morning. You may see some flickers of lightning or hear some thunder, so yay. This video I was kind of torn between doing like a really classic just sit down and do a haul and actually applying the stuff, and I ended on the side of let's just put it on. So I've got some new things from Sephora and Ulta, and I'm going to jump in with something I'm very excited about from Sephora, and it's these Laneige Lip Glowy Balms, it says, and I have the berry and the pear. Couldn't turn down the pear, seeing how much I love the pear Jelly Belly jelly beans. That's how I make my life decisions. And I got these in last night, and immediately after getting it in, I was like, I must wear the pear, and it smells delightful. And you smell it, I don't know, for me, I smell these even more once I've put them on my lips, not necessarily like just, you know, opening the tube and whoosh, but it's a squeezy tube, and I'm gonna try the berry on now. And the berry seems to have a little bit of a tint. The pear was totally clear. We'll see if we can see any color on the lips here. Nice sweet smell, but not too strong, and it is definitely glossy. I mean, you can see that shine there. I'm not picking up on a ton of color, but what I enjoyed about it was just how comfortable this felt on my lips just walking around. It didn't have that kind of high maintenance or sticky gloss-like feel. At its core, I think it is very balmy, but it just happens to have some shine. The packaging is really cute. I see myself really enjoying these things. I definitely like my lip sleeping mask from Laneige, and I think these are gonna be so fun to use. There are gonna be a few steps in this that aren't new from the haul, just because like I didn't get a full face of things intentionally for this video. But I'm gonna put on my Bare Minerals Prime Time. It's a tinted primer. I have it in medium. I've had this for a little while. You may have remembered me using it quite a while back. Let's roll up the sleeves. It's got that mineral SPF 30 sunscreen, which is the kind of sunscreen I'm really trying to go for now, what with the pregnancy and all. And the only thing I don't like about this is that sometimes it kind of spits a little bit out of this pump. Like you'll have a rogue little bit of it going off somewhere and you don't know where it went, and that frustrates me a lot. So I try to really like use my hand big time, use my whole hand, so that will almost shield it from doing that. Or you can just twist off the top and get some off of the end of the pump, you know. But I blend this in, and I don't know if you can see, but it does give my skin like a little more evenness, just a little gentle tint of something, but very, very smoothing. Like as moisturizer underneath this, I've got on my Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base, which feels very, very moisturizing. But then you put this on, it's like, okay, I still feel moisturized, but I'm very even and smoothed all over. So I have been using that quite a bit more lately. Then foundation-wise, what I'm gonna actually be doing is using my Bare Minerals, and the new part of this haul is this special brush that I got. It's called the Beautiful Finish brush, and I'd never used this before, and I was recently watching Shelby Wilson, and she was using this brush to buff on her Bare Minerals original foundation. I thought, oh, I've kind of been trying to hit on the best thing for that foundation, and this is a really interesting brush. See how the outside bumps up a little higher than this inner core, which is very dense, and the whole thing is very soft. So what I'm going to do actually before I pull in that foundation, which is, you know, a powder foundation basically, I'm going to do a little concealing first, and this is my Bare Minerals Bare Skin in the shade Light. I really love this concealer. I tend to reach for it, or think to reach for it, when I'm doing a Bare Minerals look. I like pairing it with my Complexion Rescue Stick, but it's also kind of a nice little way to prep some of your problem areas before you pull in the foundation, which the foundation can get the job done all on its own, and you can build it in certain places, but this almost feels a little bit quicker to me ultimately. Oops, I can't hold on to anything today. It feels a little bit quicker to go ahead and just take care of some places where you know you want the extra coverage. So there's that serum concealer. It's very thin. It does kind of feel a little moisturizing, but not like ultra tacky, thick makeup-y. So this is just my Sephora Pro Mini Flawless Airbrush here. Take care of a little redness around the nose, under the nose. But yeah, I've had this concealer for a while, and it might be one of my top picks from Bare Minerals, actually. I really like it. See what that did coverage-wise? No foundation on here whatsoever. And can you kind of also see the finish it leaves on my skin? I don't know, look sort of toward the top of the cheeks. super natural, not cakey at all. So whatever else is left on the brush, I'm just kind of getting it all blended. My hair is kind of wacky crazy. I took it out of a bun and it had just all this kind of funky wave to it. But I'm pulling out a good old original here. Bare Minerals Original in medium beige is what I wear. And I'm gonna tap a little bit. There happen to be some still kind of in this part, so without even having to unlock it. And we'll take our brush on its maiden voyage, okay? So you basically just do, you know, your whole swirl, tap, and buff idea with this brush. And I don't have too much product on it. And ideally, I think Bare Minerals works best when you don't throw too much on all at once. And I kind of like to work in little sections of my face and then maybe go back for a little more, like so, maybe half the face, really buff it in. This brush is interesting. As it comes in contact with the skin, you really wouldn't know that it has that unusual shape to it, but it's definitely unlike anything I have, so I was very interested to try it. Now I'm gonna get out a little more foundation. I'm gonna really work around the center of the face, like the nose, forehead area. How do you really buff out the nose? Chin. And now I've got a little more, and I'm gonna tackle this side of the face that has nothing on it. This is so soft. It feels like such a major improvement actually over the brushes that Bare Minerals originally came out with, like way back in the day. I'm talking like 10 years ago. Remember those different brushes that were almost, I mean, compared to a lot of the brushes you see coming out these days, even cheaper brushes, they were kind of rough. They probably still make them and offer them, but they weren't this style at all. They weren't like kabuki style. I can't even think what the name of the brush was, but if you got in on Bare Minerals when Bare Minerals was kind of new, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Now I'm at a place where I feel like I'm going to just gently and lightly build my coverage everywhere. So I'm gonna add just a hair more product here. When I say that, let me show you. What does a tad and a hair mean? Can you see that there? Just sprinkled out a little bit into the center of the cap. It's amazing how this product just kind of works around the skin, you know? Pregnancy glow? No. She's just got the Bare Minerals going. It really does kind of enhance the natural glow of your skin, I must say. So there's my skin with my Bare Minerals foundation and a little bit of the serum concealer in my few little problem areas. I'm so happy with this. I'm enjoying the brush. I was really just hoping to zone in on something that would be the perfect thing for this, and that's what it's designed for. Guys, I've got new and interesting face products a-poppin' in this video. From Ulta, I got the Saharan Blush Volume 2 palette from Juvia's Place. Also got an eye palette that you'll see coming, but this is what this looks like. Two shimmery shades in this right in the middle, and then these two mattes and these two mattes. This really looks bronzery to me. This looks more like a highlight, but some very rich blushes. And I'd never tried blushes from Juvia's Place, so I wanted to check those out. And as far as overall palette wise, I do have a few palettes. I had kind of gotten off from using them, and I really think the only reason why was the placement of them in my collection. Like, they're a little bit bigger and I just wasn't finding them and reaching for them. And then from Beauty Bakery, I got this Cotton Candy Champagne palette, and this is like my most loved thing now. I can't stop using this. Like, I have not gotten a lot of use out of this because I can hardly put this thing down. And it's full of glowy blushes. They call it a blush lighter palette. And it's got like this coral shade, light pink, kind of plummy, a little bit more earthy color here. They're all like equally gorgeous. The glow on the skin is just freaking awesome. So I love that so much. Another thing I got from Beauty Bakery that I don't think I need to use in this video because I already did my Bare Minerals powder foundation, but I got the Flower, which is their powder, and it was so cute. It came in a little bag, like a little flower bag. Adorable. Flower setting powder and translucent is what this is. And it also has a nice little mechanism in there to keep it from popping out as soon as you open it up, so it covers up the holes. And then you just twist it open, tap out what you want. I have been using this quite a bit as like an under eye setting powder, setting the T-zone, and I actually really like it. I don't think it leaves me looking too dry or unnatural. I don't start to get that look, you know, as with wear later in the day. It's probably up there in terms of an effect I like on the skin. It's up there with some of my favorites, so I have really been enjoying that. I'm sorry I couldn't demo it today, but I will make sure to do that sometime soon. But for now, let's see, let's go to the Saharan, the Volume 2, and I think I'm gonna use some of this shade called Yara right here so we can have a little bronze. I'm excited about this blush palette too though. I just like, as soon as I jumped into that Beauty Bakery one, Beauty Bakery is something I hadn't tried until now. And I think it was because when I had tried to make an order before, a lot of things seemed to be sold out. I'm getting a little warmth there around the hairline with this, but I just loved what they did in that palette because it's all glowy, gorgeous blushes. You will love the way those look on. They're like so fun to put on. They're fusing the worlds of blush and highlight, and I feel like I went through a big phase recently where I was like all about the glowy blushes, and I've not ever really let go of loving them, but this really reinvigorates it. So I'm again with Yara, just kind of dropping this down on the cheek a little bit, cheekbone area, hollow of the cheek. And I think this can totally work as a bronzer for me. This could be a palette, I mean, that highlight is light enough for this palette to kind of work as every face step I need. I'm guessing the reason why I got this volume 2, I mean, Juvia's Place, they put some really intense shades into their palettes, and I think the volume 1 may have been even more like bright and intense. Today I am going to a field trip with Belle, the way it is for pre-K, like they don't ride a bus or something, parents just have to accompany them. So I'm excited for that. It's at the Science Center. We love that place, but haven't been in a while, so that'll be great. So I got my skin a little bit bronzed up. I'm pretty pleased with that tone now. Hop over to the Cotton Candy Champagne palette. Oh, what shade? Like any shade is a winner here. Absolutely any of them. I think I'm gonna go Sip Sip Hooray and tap off the little bit of excess you might have. Get ready for some beautiful glowy pink action here. Oh, I love it. Oh, and I have this reaction every day. I get to have this reaction every single day that I pop this open. Glowy blushes are where it's at, my friends, because it doesn't look like crazy cheap and artificial or something. You don't get up close and think, ugh, but the texture of the skin looks awful. No, it's just really awesome. I love it. And then will she wear highlighter on top of this? Today for you guys, I will. Isn't that fresh? Anybody can have pregnancy glow when you got something like this around. Then for highlighter, did I have something else? Oh, yeah, I absolutely have to use highlighter today, guys, because I got this. Let's rewind to the celebrity beauty video I did, and I was talking about Casey Musgraves and her highlighter. She had this gorgeous like pink highlight popping right off of this area, and I loved it. And I kind of recreated that with my Becca Prismatic Amethyst highlighter. I mixed it with a little translucent powder first to get a really like lightened up effect, and then popped on even more highlight. It was gorgeous, and I thought it recreated the look well. And that was kind of the point of that video, was like, I don't necessarily know what any of the makeup artists used here, but I'm gonna try to recreate the look with what I've got. But somebody in the comments section said that they happen to know that this Pat McGrath highlighter palette was used, and it was the pink shade in it. So this was like 50 bucks on Sephora's website. As far as Pat McGrath palettes go, one of the cheaper ones. So this would be the shade Iridescent Pink in here. And yes, you are seeing this nice and clean. Well, I may have gotten my grubby fingers in it to do a couple swatches, but this is new and has not gone on the cheeks until this moment. So today I must try that pink. Again, the fun of that video was the ability to recreate the look not knowing exactly what was used, but I was really intrigued when someone said that. I don't know what kind of insider scoop they were able to get, but they seemed confident in their knowledge, so. Oh. Okay, yeah, it's really pink. It's very pink. It's even more pinky than Prismatic Amethyst, although Prismatic Amethyst gave me a lot of pink. This is even more pinky. Oh, all right. So these are kind of domed up in the palette. You can probably tell that. Makes for a very nice presentation. Oh, that's a fun look. Like, leaves people thinking, what happened there? How did you get that? I'll let some drop down just a little bit more because that's kind of my style. Are these some juicy cheeks or what? Okay, nice. So the way this palette works is it has a little ponytail holder right here, and that goes around the thing. That's what it makes me think of. It's the kind of ponytail holder I use on Belle every day. Now I think I'm just gonna set this real quick. Now that we've gotten all these lovely face steps done, I'm gonna use my Farsali Rose Gold Skin Mist, which, look, guys, like I am really taking this down. I mean, granted it's sort of a skinny bottle, but I can't get enough of this smell. Oh. Bring me all the oranges and cream. I feel like, you know, being pregnant, you do really take in scents even more intensely than you normally would. And sometimes it's for the worst. Sometimes you smell things so much you just get turned off, but can't get enough of this. Like oranges and cream is what it makes me think of. And I'm so happy with the skin's look right now. That Bare Minerals foundation, that pretty glow on top. Do I have a new brow product? The answer is no. But guys, I'm so proud of myself. Like I need to do an empties video probably pretty soon because I have taken down in the past week 2 skinny brow pencils that I've been meaning to use up. My L'Oreal one, my CoverGirl one, they are gone. So MAC, this one's next on my list. This is my spiked eyebrow styler. And I also want to use up this Gimme Brow. So we're on it. This is sort of that skinny pencil idea. Why does it feel so good to use up stuff? Part of the feeling I get is like I've really figured it out by then. You know, like there's no question I know what I think about a product when I've stuck with it until it's run out. And these skinny brow pencils, while that may have impressed you a little bit, it's not that big of an accomplishment because they run out quickly. Don't you think? It doesn't take long really to go through one of these and wear it down. But there are some products where, like, let's say a blush, you could definitely have that figured out before you run out of it. You know what I mean? Like, it could take you a long time to use up an entire blush. This is a good shade for me. I think I'm gonna enjoy this. Kind of just a nice cool brown. Still loving the feeling of that Laneige on my lips. It's really become like a little bit thicker feeling on the lips. At the onset, it was more gloss-like, a little bit lighter. Now it feels richer and just a little more like in there, more treatment-esque. Actually, you know what, guys? I was just feeling down here below my eye, and it feels pretty, like, I don't know, a little tacky, because I don't think I really hit it with my Bare Minerals foundation up there. So I may take just a little bit of this flower and just get a little light bit down there and just let this come right in here. See how it's very light, kind of brightening when you pop that on? Don't want to cover up the highlight, just get that under eye area. The reason why I like to do that, I feel like it gives me better staying power. Now for the eyes, we have 2 options here. Stand by, grab them. We have the CoverGirl Ascension palette, which I've used this once already. I really did not love it. There's a lot of shades in here that are kind of right around the same sort of mid-tone, and my look came out pretty muddy, like okay, but not super impressive. I think there are maybe a certain couple of key colors you could go for that could really knock it out of the park shimmer-wise, but then in contrast, like this is your darkest shade and it didn't do enough to like anchor the look, and I was using this and this. I'm also a little confused as to all the space gap in this palette. Like there's a lot of extra space here. It's like essentially they gave you too many palettes, but then I don't know, it's kind of big. But they have 4 different options. There might be another one that I like better, but at the store, you know, they've got these all taped down, no tester to look at, only the picture on the back is what you get to judge them by. And I think all in all, I thought the whole thing was gonna be a little deeper judging by that, and then I get it and it's, you know, very light. Like the dark brown on the back looked very serious, and then inside it was pretty light. Let me know if you've tried any of these CoverGirl palettes and which one you like the best. But I also have this palette. This is the Deuce by Juvia's. This is what it looks like. I have looked at this palette. I've glanced at this so many times going on Ulta's website, and today's the day, my friends. I'm using it. Well, I've actually used it a couple times already, and I do know that I like it. But I had finally decided to pull the trigger and get the palette. And these palettes are, I think, very fairly priced. You get a lot of product in them, super pigmented shades, and great if you like color. I mean, they do have some neutral ones, but if you're into a colorful eye look, I think they offer a lot of opportunities to play. So get that Milani eyeshadow primer on there. Okay, pre-K field trip. I'm gonna rock your world today. I'm gonna use a little bit of cream or creme, the shade right up here. I don't think I've used this one yet. I'm just popping it in the crease, saying, hey, why not? In the crease, a little above the crease. Okay, looking good, looking fresh. Then I think I'm gonna go to crepes down here. Pop a little bit of that in my crease too. Ooh, that's some nice rusty warmth. My stomach just started growling as I said crepes. Haven't had a good crepe in a while. Get me over to IHOP. But I have been making waffles. I have the cutest mini waffle maker. It is so adorable. It's like making your own Eggo waffles basically, but they're way better than Eggos. I made up like a quick dozen in my little waffle maker and froze a bunch. So in the mornings, if somebody's wanting a waffle, I can just pop one of those out into the toaster. It fits the toaster perfectly. My other waffle maker, my camera very rudely cut me off during this compelling story. Oh, my other waffle maker turned out a very thick, classic Belgian waffle, and this is almost like a mini Waffle House waffle. And I just used a mix to make them. It was something I found at Walmart. I'll link below, but it made a great waffle. Really dense, just very delightful. So I've got my crease rocking there with that. What do? It's wide open. I think I'm going to take some of this color called Tart right here. It just looks white, but look a little closer and you can see a little pinky reflection. So I'm gonna grab that and like, ooh, yeah, that's interesting. And let that come over like the inner half of the lid. Can you see what's happening here? Oh, it's kind of like my Pat McGrath highlighter packed on my eye. This is my e.l.f. flat eyeshadow brush, by the way, which I absolutely love. It's taking over as my new favorite flat brush. I only really rotate to my other one when I like need to pick up a different shade. Oh, this is fun. Much more pinky than you might assume with that, because this one looks pink. It's like, hey, I'm the pink over here. No, I'm the pink. I'm really interested in Mont Blanc down here. I want to see what that's about. Oh, it's straight up silver. Okay. It looked a little textured almost, like it might be something deeper and more charcoal, but that's gonna be straight up silver. All right, the more you know. Maybe just to kind of round out this look, I'll take my other flat brush here and I'm gonna use some of chocolate or chocolat. Matte brown. Oh, that matte brown is here for it. It's just such an interesting palette. It's really random, but fun. Like, this is the kind of palette I like to use, something that is a little random. Need to do a little reblend with the pink over that. I know I could get a little louder color-wise, but again, I'm going to this field trip. I want to keep it just softly intense. Really like that brown. That was very nice to use. And now I'm kind of wanting to go back into crepes, my rust, and kind of work it all together a bit more in the outer corner. Oh my gosh, when I was volunteering at the Easter party the other day, yeah, it's been an active week for me in pre-K. These little girls started talking to me about how they were drawing on their papers and they were making makeup, making a makeup compact and pretending to use it, which I thought was genius and so cute. And then they started talking about all the like play makeup or little girl makeup they had at home. I was like, oh, tell me more. Jojo Siwa, is it? Oh man, I was all ears. That was fun. Now I'm just going back to my super flat brush and Tarte, just because it needs to blend a bit better right here. I'm just kind of pulling it over. Cute, I like it. Then let's go into our dark brown again with a pencil brush and softly define the lower lash line. This has been some fun makeup in this video, I gotta say. Everything has just had an interesting little flair, hasn't it? How long, how many lifetimes do you think this dark brown would last me? It's a huge pan and it's so intense. Like at the rate I'm going, I'm like dipping once. If only certain makeup products could be good enough to just be passed down through the generations, you know? Next big makeup breakthrough, makeup that won't expire. Now I am going to put light liner in my lower inner rim. I'm going to put on mascara, which I don't have any new to share, but I am committed. Maybe you will respect my commitment to use up what I have here. I've been going between my MAC Extended Play Perm-Up. I think I'll use that today, but I've also been trying to use this Unlimited from L'Oreal, which you might recall I liked it. I wasn't in love with the curl holding ability, but I'm still using it. It's not that bad, and I think it's gotten a little better with age. And I'm still using the liquid lash extensions from Thrive on the lower lashes. So I'm gonna do those steps and I'll be back. Okay guys, there's the finished eye look. As that shadow has set on my lid, has that not gotten more purple? I feel like I've done this look with several different palettes recently where I've gone cool, like purpley or bluish on the lid and warm in the crease, but I mean, that looked like a downright, let's just look at this again. That's this color right here. That's what I've got on the inner part of the lid. I felt like it was immediately pink, you know, like that, but now it looks really purple. On the lips, in addition to that Laneige, I mean, I like the Laneige and all, but I want a little bit of color. I think I'm gonna use some of this ColourPop So Juicy. I didn't have another lip product really in this haul, but I haven't used this shade before. It's called It's a Habit. And I really like the feel of these on the lips. They're very cooling. And this looks like such a sort of rusty red, but obviously it's gonna look more sheer on the lips. I thought it might play off of my crease color a little bit. Yeah, I really like that shade. That's kind of a unique shade for a gloss. It's kind of rusty. Comes off just kind of like a deeper nude, don't you think? And looking back at the way this whole color scheme panned out, I kind of want to go back to my Beauty Bakery palette here and go for a little bit more of this like neutral shimmery blush. Can't stop. I love this palette so much. So good. I'm taking it just slightly lower so as to not cover up the highlight. That's so pretty. This is joy. Joy in a palette. All right, guys, that's my haul and just trying it all on. I feel like this look is so much about the skin for me. I'm so pleased with the way that all came together. From the Bare Minerals concealer and the foundation with the new brush, to the glowy products on the cheeks, new blush and highlighter palettes. Just couldn't be more pleased, and I think that Juvia's Place palette is gonna offer a ton of different options, really. It was just kind of surprising, you know, the way this look turned out, because I swear it's more purple than when I first put it on. Not complaining, just noting. Thank you so much for your time, everybody, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.